I'm Kathryn Cook, Passion Party's Executive Director, and I want to talk a little bit about the G-spot. The G-spot's the big mystery of the female body. People are like, I read this article in Cosmo about the G-spot. My friends talk about these G-spot orgasms, but I've never had a G-spot orgasm. I'm pretty sure I don't have one. All women do actually have a G-spot. It can just be a little bit more difficult to find. If you were to insert 1 to 2 fingers into the vagina, curl them out towards the belly button, the G-spot's just about right there. It's about 1.5 inches to 3 inches up on the front wall of the vagina. And now if you take your tongue and feel the roof of your mouth, and now the insides of your cheeks, the roof of your mouth is what the G-spot feels like, and the insides of your cheeks are what the rest of the vagina feels like. Now, the G-spot can be kind of a finicky area because it is a spongy tissue that's attached to your bladder and your urethra. So when it's aroused, it swells and it puts pressure on the bladder and the urethra, which is where a lot of women get really uncomfortable. They're like, stop, I have to go to the restroom right now. You can actually work through that pressure sensation to have the most intense orgasm of your life. The G-spot leads to a much more whole body consuming orgasm, the kind of orgasm that can leave your knees weak, it can make your eyes roll back in your head, angels sing. Completely different than a clitoral orgasm. And clitoral orgasms are great. Don't forget about those. I mean, that is the only reason you have a clitoris, after all, is for pleasure. But G-spot orgasms, much more deeply rooted in the body, much more emotional, and again, just a lot more fulfilling on several levels. However, with that G-spot being attached to the urethra, a lot of women have trouble getting past that uncomfortable, I have to go to the bathroom sensation. So, if you remember that you're not going to wet the bed, if you have a G-spot orgasm, like you literally cannot orgasm and urinate at the same time. Like it's actually physically impossible for that to happen. So knowing in your head that you can work through that uncomfortable pressure feeling to have the most intense orgasm of your life is half of your battle. Also, if you empty your bladder beforehand, that can make the pressure feeling not quite as intense. And knowing that patience is kind of the name of the game is the way to win. It can take up to 40 minutes of continual G-spot stimulation to have your first G-spot orgasm. 40 minutes. Who has that kind of time, right? That's why we have so many products that are designed to help with the G-spot, because it is just such a sensitive and experimental area for the most part. You just have to kind of figure out what works for you. We do have a positions book called Ride 'em Cowgirl that has an entire section of G-spot positions that you and a partner can try. So I would highly recommend that you get that book as a guideline. And then again, we have several other products, including our best-selling G-spot cream, several G-spot focused toys like the Lalo Ina, etc. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Now, something else I always like to cover about the G-spot is it's very common for a woman to ejaculate when she has a G-spot orgasm. Now, when a man ejaculates, that's 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon. When a woman ejaculates, well, we do it better. It's 1 cup to 1 quart of fluid. Now, that's a big wet spot, so I just recommend that you are prepared and you either have a towel or a tarp handy. And of course, if you have a tarp, that means your partner knows you're in it for business. So again, the G-spot area, very finicky, so just practice and patience. And keep in mind, by the way, that it's also about the size of a walnut. So it's an entire area to be stimulated, not just one little piece. So again, I highly recommend that you research books like Ride 'em Cowgirl and our best-selling G-spot cream and some of our G-spot focused toys like Lalo Ina, the Genie, the Deluxe Dolphin, and there are several others as well. Feel free to certainly message me or call me for recommendations. Again, I'm Kathryn Cook, Passion Party's Executive Director.